What's up, family and friends? So today we're going to talk about steps and things that you need to do to buy your first home or next home. So there's a few things that you need to do. I'm going to say at least 3, possibly 4, depending on your situation. Number 1, you need to know your financial statement like the back of your hand. You need to know how much money you have coming in, how much money you have going out, how much you have in reserves. Look at your financial statement. We'll dive into that. Number 2, I would suggest contacting 3 or 4 different lenders, people that are going to lend you money for your real estate deal. And number 3, find a broker. Find someone that knows the area, if you don't, that can help you find a spot that fits all of your criteria. Number 1, let's start there, right? Know your financial situation. The first thing that you need to do before you buy a home, before you really buy anything, you should know your financial situation. What I mean by that is know your debt to income ratio. So how much money do you have coming in every month, and how much money do you have going out, specifically for creditors, right? That's credit card debt, that's car payment, medical, student debt, any money that someone has given you that you have to pay back, because lenders are going to ask that, or they're going to need to know that. And it's good for you to know before you give it to them, so you're not kind of struck down with like, oh, I can't afford a property right now because I need to pay off some expenses. The second thing that you need to do, and I suggest that you have right now, even if you're not considering a home, is have $1,000 emergency fund. Start just putting that up aside. Number 2, having 3 to 6 months worth of expenses saved up. I personally feel comfortable with 6 months, but just getting out, just start with 3 months, right? And that's for anything that comes up if you lose your job or something happens where you can't create that income, right? Because right now, most of us work for our money. Our time equals money. I'd like to have enough passive income to cover my expenses. So look at your debt to income ratio, look at your $1,000 emergency fund, and make sure that you have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses saved up, right? That kind of gives you an overview of what your financial statement looks like. You now know, okay, I have my 3 to 6 months, I have my $1,000. You know where your money's at. You know your financial health. So number 2, now you go and talk to a lender. Now here's the cool thing about talking to a lender. When you first are looking for a home, you need to contact, I would say at a minimum, 3 to 5 lenders. Here's why. Every time that a creditor pings your credit to see how high your credit is, your credit score takes a slight hit depending on your credit score and other factors of your credit. They give you 45 days, and every lender for a home mortgage that pings your credit during that 45-day period only counts as 1 inquiry. So you could have 10 lenders hit your credit and it only counts once. So you need to use that resource. If we didn't do that, we would have paid $4,000 more than we should have on just 1 fee for that lender. So that the next lender that we got basically got rid of that fee, and we also saved about 0.5% by going to another lender. So just shop around. So that's why I say talk to multiple lenders. Now, once you have a lender, they're going to ask you for a lot of information, all right, about your financial health and where you're sitting. So they're going to ask you the same things that you've already figured out, right? Debt to income ratio, how much money do you have for a down payment? What kind of terms are you looking for? Things like that. So now with them, the more money you put down, the lower your interest rate is going to be. If you put 20% down or more, they get rid of a conventional lender will get rid of your private mortgage insurance. Anything under 20% down, you need to have private mortgage insurance, and that's to cover if you miss a month of paying. The other thing is, before you talk to a lender, you need to know what kind of loan options are out there, and they will definitely be able to help you better. But the research that I've done, there's a few loans that you can do, right? Just a conventional bank loan. Most people do that. Well, there's other resources that you have that you need to use if you don't have 20% down and don't want to pay private mortgage insurance. So look into FHA loan, Federal Housing Administration loan. They require only 3.5% down, and anybody can use it with a credit score over 500. Now, the higher your credit score is, the better terms that you'll get. Number 2, you've got the USDA loan, United States Department of Agriculture loan. This is only for rural areas, and it's for a credit score of 680 or better, and there's different fees associated with this one as well. Next is what I used is the VA loan. You have to be active duty military or in the reserves to have access to this, but it's also a very powerful real estate tool. And the reason I say go to a lender first before a broker, that property, that seller is going to want to know that you can buy their home. So get approved first, then go to a realtor. Now, depending on, so our situation, we moved, so we had to find a realtor out of state. If you are just finding a broker in your area, you kind of know the area, you can drive around and also help. But if not, find a realtor that you trust and that knows the area really, really well. And give them your criteria, right? So for example, just for us, we needed a backyard for a dog. We needed 3 bedrooms because we have people come and visit us. And then the lender told us how much we could spend, which I think our limit was about $500,000 was our max purchase price. So the lender will also tell you your max purchase price. So now that you've done those 3 things, you know your financial statement, you have a lender that's going to approve you, and you know which loan you're going to use. Now you have a realtor who's feeding you properties, and that's where you get to kind of have fun and say, oh yeah, I like this, I don't like that. But make sure you stick to a budget. Don't buy a house if the price is outside of your range. Make sure that the numbers make sense. So it goes back to your debt to income ratio. If your debt to income ratio after you buy the home is greater than the lender's going to offer you, they're not going to back it, right? Because now your debt to income ratio is more. So you either have to make more money or lower your expenses and pay off some of your bills. Really get your finances squared away. Anybody can buy a home. You just need to know your financial situation. You look at how much you spend on renting and utilities and ask yourself if you can find a home that is less than that, right? So in California, we would have spent $2,500 to $2,800 a month on rent. That doesn't include utilities. We bought our home with a monthly payment of $1,955, and now we have utilities. So our BH is $3,000, basic allowance for housing. It's something that the military gives you to pay for housing. Our BAH is $3,000. We now have an extra $1,000 to pay for our HOA fee, our utilities, any expenses that come up that you need to pay for. So that's the other thing that you need to pay attention to is a home right for you right now? Maybe not, because do you want to take care of a lawn? Do you want to take care of, if your water heater breaks, right? So when you're looking at your financial statement, also pay attention to how much you want to have in reserves in case something happens. So like my wife and I, we have a $1,000 emergency fund, but we also have $1,000 house emergency fund in case something breaks or we need to fix something. That's kind of the basics to buying a home. It's not that far away from what people think. You just need to first know your own financial situation. And if you need help with that, please reach out to me. I would love to go over your financial health and see where you're at. That is my purpose with this content, is to help you reach your goals and your passions. So if you want to be a homeowner and you're not sure what to do next, let me know. I will be right there and help you through the steps. That's what I want to do. That's why I'm making this content, is to reach out and help people accomplish their goals and spend their time where it matters most to them. And a lot of people, that's at home with their family. So, and a lot of people have different goals and different dreams and aspirations. So let's help you reach yours.